Hello everyone, hello. If you can hear me okay, just put a comment in the comment section. Hope you guys are doing okay. So just to check the audio, if you can hear me clearly, just put a quick comment in the comment section so I can know that you can hear me clearly before I get started. Can you guys hear me? Hello? Hello, good. Alright, amazing. Audio is good. Alright. Nice. Alright, so everybody welcome. So I'm just going to give it about 5 minutes before I get started, real time, just to let more people join in. So I'm just going to wait for about 5 more minutes before I get started. So we start around about 6:05. Great to see all of you. Welcome. Hopefully today's going to be an informative session for everyone. And feel free to type your questions in the question box or in the comment section. So I'm going to be talking about my experience at MUA. I'm also going to be answering any questions anyone might have about the school. So if you have any questions, just put them in the comment section. Or I'm also going to create, I'm trying to create a question tab there if possible. But yeah, for now, just put your comments or any questions you have in the question section. Hello, I am James McIntyre from Canada. I'm from Canada too as well. Hello. Alright, so about 3 more minutes and we're going to get started. So you can feel free to type where you tune in from, everyone. So if you're tuning in from Canada, from the States, or from anywhere else in the world, just feel free to drop that in the comment section so I see where everyone's tuning in from. Alright, California in the house. Shout out to you. Are there any Canadians in the house? Because I'm presenting Canada today because I'm from Canada as well too. So if you're from Canada, give a quick shout out in the comment section as well too. Let's see where you're from. Alright, welcome. 2 more minutes and we're going to get started. New York in the building. What's up? North Carolina, I see you. Atlanta, Georgia, I see you. Good. Boston, what's up, Horace? Good to see you here, man. Haiti, nice, welcome. Christopher from Haiti, Sakpase. Hope I said that correctly. All right. We have 2 people from Haiti right now in the building. Nice. Anyone from Nigeria here at all? Because I'm Nigerian originally. So if you're tuning in from Nigeria or you're Nigerian, let's hear you. All right. 1 more minute and we're gonna get started. Good to see all of you here. Alright, I have another Haitian in the building. Alright, some people from West Africa should be coming in. Hopefully, it's not too late down there now and they're still awake. Texas, what's up? Nice to see you. Alright, so it's 6:05 and I'm going to get started. So just a quick housekeeping rules. Arthur from Nigeria, welcome. All right, so I'm gonna get started right now, and just some quick housekeeping rules. I know Instagram, when you're doing Instagram live, we have like a time limit of about 15 minutes to 1 hour. So in about 15 minutes to 1 hour, Instagram cuts the live off automatically. So if that happens by any chance, you guys just hang around. If, for example, I'm not done the session when Instagram cuts us off, just hang around. I'm gonna restart. I'm gonna create another live session, and hopefully you guys can join in from there. So all right, let's get started. All right, everyone, welcome from wherever you're tuning in. I've seen Haiti in the building, New York, California, Nigeria, Canada, Boston, North Carolina. You guys are very, very welcome. So I'm just going to do a quick introduction about myself. I'm going to let you guys know about my experience at Medical University of the Americas, which will be further referred to as MUA. And also, I'm going to take any questions you guys might have. So for now, you can drop any questions you have in the comment section, or just use the question, mechanism right there to ask the questions. I'm going to see everything. I'm going to answer them as time goes on. All right. So my name is Hassan. I am originally from Nigeria. I did my high school in Nigeria, and from Nigeria, I moved to Canada when I was about 16, right? So I moved to Canada when I was 16 from Nigeria, and I did about 1 year of high school in Canada. Then after my year of high school in Canada, I went into university in McMaster University in Hamilton. In McMaster University, I studied life sciences and psychology as my undergraduate degree. And I did that for 4 years, and I finished in 2015, right? And I've always known I wanted to be a doctor, right? Medicine has always been a passion of mine, and that's also one reason I moved to Canada to explore my options of getting into medical school and whatnot. So when I finished undergraduate degree in Canada, I applied to several. First of all, I didn't apply to the Canadian Medical School because I felt it was just very competitive, right? And at the time I was applying for Canada, I was still an international student, right? And for those who don't necessarily know, in Canada, it's very hard for international students to get into medical school there. At the time I applied, there were just 3 schools in Canada that accepted international students. And this spots they had for international students was very limited, right? So honestly, I didn't bother applying, to be honest. I know some people, they usually apply to maybe the States or Canada, and if for any reason they don't get in there, that's when they apply elsewhere. It was different for me. For me, I think I was sort of realistic with the situation. I was like, okay, I'm an international student. I looked at the average GPA which these medical schools that accept international students. I looked at the average GPA which they accepted, and mine wasn't necessarily close to that. So I'm like, the chances are pretty low. So I honestly did not bother applying. Wasting all those resources, wasting your application fee. So I did not apply to any Canadian or U.S. medical school. Then I looked into the Caribbean, right? And that's when I came across other Caribbean medical schools and the Medical University of the Americas as well too. So how I actually heard about MUA, I didn't have nobody really told me about MUA per se. I just did my own research, right? So like I said, I knew earlier on that I wasn't going to be applying to Canada or US. So I started looking at other options. So I, explored the Caribbean option. And that's why I came across Medical University of the Americas as well as other medical schools there as well too. So I looked into everything. I looked at MUA's policies. I looked at their admission requirements and everything, and it fit very well with what I was looking for and my own personal credentials as well too. And that's how I ended up applying into Medical University of the Americas, and I got in from there. And so when I actually got in, I was admitted into the pre-medical program, right? So it's called GMP right now. Gateway Medical Program, that's what it's called now. But by the time when I applied then, it was still called pre-med, right? So I initially was admitted into that because I did not have my, I think it was my second, so I think MUA required 1 year of organic chemistry. I had just one. So like 2 courses of organic chemistry, I had just one, right? So that was the reason why I was put into the pre-med program, which I reluctantly went into because obviously I wanted to go directly into Med 1, but I started in the Gateway Medical Program, right? Honestly, that was very good for me. It was like a blessing in disguise because number one, it gave me the opportunity to assimilate into the island before Med 1 proper. So you actually do your pre-med on the island itself, not from home, right? So I went onto the island, I did my pre-med there, and I got a taste of what medical school would be like, right? I got the opportunity to hone in my study skills. I quickly figured out what worked for me, and I was used to the island as well too. So when I started Med 1 proper, I already had, I sort of was already one step ahead in a way from those who didn't do the pre-medical program, right? So if for any reason any of you get into the Gateway Medical program, if for example you applied to Med 1 but you were put in a Gateway Medical program, take it as a blessing, and honestly, just try your best to make it work and learn from it as much as you can. Okay, so I finished from the Gateway Medical program and I went directly into Med 1 one semester after. And Med 1 was amazing, right? Like I said, I already had some experience from pre-med. I learned some basic rudimentary introduction into some of the courses we're taking. So like the anatomy and stuff, physiology, I learned all of that at a more palatable level than it was in Med 1, because Med 1 we get more into detail and we get a lot more information. So pre-med was a good introduction into all of that. And so I was already used to the island, so I got into the island. So when I first started on the island, MUA picked us up from, they had like a setup on St. Kitts, and we got into Nevis, and there was just like a smooth sailing process from there onto my accommodation. And so in terms of housing, there is a dedicated, system in place that helps students with housing, so you could go through that if you're looking for housing, and you could put in all your requirements and everything, and they're gonna try their best to match you with what fits your requirement and the availability as well too. So we got on the island that first day, and the next day ME organized like a bus for us to do groceries the next day. So there's like a grocery shop on the island. There are 3 grocery shops on the island, or when I say grocery store on the island, and you could get really anything you want. Most of the basic things that are required to survive are available there. So I get questions about what people should bring to the island. Personally, I would say most of the things are available there, unless you have anything that you specifically need. That's like you need it, like for sure you must have this and you can't do without it. That's the only thing I'll say you should bring along. But in terms of food and basic necessities, they are available there. We also have like those of you in Canada, you know about Costco, right? So there's something similar to Costco on the island as well too. It's called Rams. And for those who don't know what Costco is, it's pretty much this. It's like a warehouse where you could get things in bulk, right? So they also have that on Island of Nevis as well too. So that was good. We did that the next day, and after that we did some orientation. So we had like the orientation. We got our student card and everything, and we got our IT technical support as well too, and they set us up with all the necessary requirements we needed to assess our courses and notes and everything like that. So that's pretty much how my Med 1 journey started, and I took things one step at a time, one day at a time. And so in terms of the academics itself, I would say that MUA has really good professors, right? And one thing I really loved about the professors was that they had this open door system that was available for students who needed any sort of assistance. And it's very interesting because where I actually lived, one of my professors lived below me, right? So I actually had a professor live below me, and there was one towards to the side of me as well too. And it was really interesting because you don't regularly see that, like maybe in Canada or the US, for example, you don't have your professors in your vicinity. They seem like, these, let's say, like someone who's out of reach per se. But when you come to MUA, that's not necessarily the case. Like I said, they have an open door policy, and the professors are really accessible, right? And feel free to take advantage of that. I feel people still have the idea that professors are not necessarily accessible, but trust me, they are, and feel free to take advantage of that, right? Even sometimes you can see the professors taking a walk in the evening, and they're always more than willing and happy to chat about like courses or like anything you don't understand or anything. So don't limit your interaction with them to the 4 walls of the campus itself. Feel free to also interact with them outside of campus as well too, and just take advantage of that flow and experience with them. So yeah, academics were good. MUA is divided into 5 semesters for basic sciences, right? In your Med 1, you learn about anatomy, physiology, and histology. In Med 2, you start doing your genetics, your biochemistry, your microbiology, and all of that. Then in your third semester, that's when you start doing your neuroscience and you have your introduction to systems and diseases. So one good thing about MUA is that we operate on a organ system based curriculum, right? And what that means is that we learn based on systems, right? So you learn your cardiovascular system, you learn your renal system, you learn your endocrine system. And when you are in a particular system, you learn the pathology, you learn the physiology and the pharmacology of that particular system, right? And I think that's really good because that's the way it's very integrative, right? And that's the way the step 1 exam, I feel, tests students. They test you in a more integrative manner, right? And if you're learning the material in that way, your eyes are going to be open, your mind will be open into seeing the information that specific way, and I think it's going to help you answer the questions better, right? So you get an introduction into that system-based format in your 3rd semester, then you get really into it in your 4th and 5th semester. So that's that regarding academics. So I'm just going to do a quick intervention here and welcome everyone else that just joined. So I'm just pretty much talking about my experience at MUA and also going to be answering any questions we have later on. So feel free to type in the question box with any questions you might have, and I'll be happy to answer them when I'm done. All right. So that's that with academics, right? If you have any questions, any specific questions regarding MUA's academics, feel free to put that in the comment section as well too. All right, so in terms of life on the island, I would say it was pretty good as well too. You have obviously it's an island you're studying on, right? So it's beautiful. You have nice beaches, you have nice restaurants and stuff. And also, honestly, feel free to indulge in these things, right? In as much as you're on the island for your studies, I feel it is very pertinent to have a good balance between, academics and your leisure, right? So usually we have our block exams on like a Monday and Tuesday, and the weekend is time for you to really enjoy and take a break, right? Because you don't want to get to a stage where you are burnt out, because once you get to that stage, then things might start to go downhill from there. So I think it's very important for you to sort of unplug and distress, and you can do that in several places on the island. Like I said, we have beaches really surrounding the whole island. Like I remember in my apartment, literally I could see the beach when I come to my balcony on my apartment there on the island. I could see the beach just right behind me, right? Even the MA campus itself has a mini beach beside it where you could just go and sit down, chat, enjoy the nature and the scenery. So feel free to take advantage of these things, right? It's not all about 2-4-7 studying. You need to establish some sort of balance between everything, right? So there's a lot of those kind of stuff to do on the island. We have nice restaurants. We have the Four Seasons on the Island of Nevis as well too, and also, like some of you already know, MUA is on the Island of Nevis, but you also have an island called St. Kitts as well too. So it's just like a one boat ride away from Nevis. So also feel free to explore that option in terms of leisure activities, right? Don't limit yourself to the Island of Nevis. Feel free to hop onto the sister island of St. Kitts and take advantage of what that has to offer as well too. So yeah, that's pretty much what academics looked like, and what life on the island was like as well too. So yeah, I could actually start taking questions at this point, because honestly, if I start talking about all my experiences at the MUA, we're gonna need hours upon hours, right? So you can start asking your questions at this point, and I'm gonna keep answering them, and we just keep the conversation going from there. So I see a first question here already, and the question is, why did you choose MUA over SABA, Ross, or SGU? And that's a good question. So for me, I didn't want to go to SABA, right? So SABA wasn't part of my... So I didn't want to go to SABA or Ross, actually. Those were not part of my, they weren't part of my list of considerations. But SGU was actually my first choice, but SGU's tuition fee is astronomical. It costs like a hand and foot, so whatever, to go there. But unfortunately, I could not afford that. And also thinking about it too, I feel if you could get comparable level of education for a cheaper price, I think that would be the better way to go, right? So I looked at like I'm sure this person probably have heard about, like, the top medical schools. So I looked at all of those and I figured out which one would also get me to where I want to go, but at a fraction of the cost. And honestly, that's where MUA stood out to me. MUA was very appealing to me because of their affordable tuition rates and fees. And honestly, that was actually the main reason I came here, because that was affordable for me. And I know in Canada we don't necessarily get the funding from our government. We have to apply for like a private loan, So MUA is really, I think a lot of Canadians would benefit from that because of how affordable the tuition fees are. So that's why I chose MUA over SABA, Ross, and SGU. So the other question there is, how did you know you wanted to go into medicine? Well, I've always loved the sciences, right? And it sounds cliche, but the truth is that I've really liked helping people in like a medical setting, right? Because my mom is a nurse, and I've been exposed to clinical settings a lot back then when I was still in Nigeria. And it was just very interesting, and it caught my attention the way they carried out their practices and the way they responded, to patients and all of that. So I think I grew up in that environment a lot, right from a very young age, and that's what really stimulated my interest in the field of medicine. So over this constant exposure to the field of clinical field, because my mom was there, I was like, okay, this is something I could probably see myself doing. How about I just check it out, right? And like I said, I loved sciences, I loved biology, I loved not chemistry. I didn't like physics either, but I really loved biology and anatomical sciences, right? And medicine, that's one of I think that's at the core foundation of what medical basic sciences entails. So I was like, okay, I love the sciences. I've had this exposure to the clinical medicine courtesy of my mom's practice. I was like, okay, cool. Let's see what this path has to offer. And that's honestly how I found myself here today. All right, what other question do we have? Where do you think you will do your residency and what specialty? Okay, I do not know where I will do my residency. Obviously, I would love to do it in a place that's accredited, a place that really teach me what I need to know. All right, I would love to go into surgery. As of this point, that may or may not change when I get into clinical rotations, but I would love to go into surgery. Ideally, I would love to do my residency in a program that will pretty much give me the avenue to really do that. A program that will teach me what I need to know, a program that will be inclusive, a program that would care about also my mental health as well as my progress as an aspiring surgeon. So those are some of the things I'm looking out for when it's time for residency. So, but in terms of the actual place, right now I'm not really sure. So, all right. Do I plan on practicing in North America or Nigeria? All right, that's a very good question. So for some people who are just joining or don't necessarily know, I'm originally from Nigeria. Right, I moved to Canada when I was 16. Then I did an undergraduate degree there. Then before I came to MUA. As of right now, I think North America is where I'm going to be at. Obviously, because I just feel most of my learning is going to be more in North American system. So it's going to be easier for me to, immerse myself into that, right? So I would love to do some work in Nigeria on a part-time basis, though. I don't think it's something I would necessarily love to go into full-time, but it's something that I would love to do on a part-time basis. But when I get there, I'll see how feasible that is. So, but yeah, for the most part, I think most of my practice will be in North America when I eventually get to that level. Okay, the next question is, how easy or difficult is it to get a visa to go to MUA? It's very easy. Just to rephrase your question, I think the more specific way to ask the question is, how easy will it be to get a visa to go to the island, right? Because MUA technically doesn't need a visa to go there, but the island itself does, right? So in terms of visa to study medicine on the island of St. Kitts and Nevis, it was very easy, right? So literally we got there, and on the when we got to like the the customs, they pretty much just asked us for our admission letter and all of that. So we showed it to them, and they gave us like a temporary like permit. But when you have gotten into the island, MA is going to email all the students, all the new students, and going to ask them for like their passports, right? About maybe like about 2 weeks to 1 month into the semester. So you just give your passport to MUA, and it's going to take about another 2 weeks for them to get the visa stamped, and they're going to return the passport back to you. So honestly, MUA does all of that for you. Just make sure you're on time with your documents. So MUA is going to ask you for like your immunization record and stuff like that. So just make sure you have all of that and bring that along with you. So when you get to the island and you have submitted all of that to MUA, they're going to pretty much take over the rest of the process for you. So feel free to just be on top of that. Then you won't have any problems with visas. Yeah. All right. Does anyone have any other questions? So you can ask me any questions about MUA itself, what studying at MUA is like, or what the island of Nevis is like, and I could answer any of that for you. So feel free to ask that. Let me see if anyone else has any questions that I probably missed. All right, one question just came in. So it says, if I've already started medicine, I've already had basic courses like mathematics, physical, chemistry, physiology, anatomy. If I now reside in the USA, am I obligated to restart again? So it seems like you've already started medical school, or you might already be a doctor from what I'm getting, but you've had some exposure to medicine. You have some basic courses. So you're asking if you are required to start again. Okay, so let me answer this question in terms of requirements for MUA. All right, so if you want to get into MUA, you need to have an undergraduate degree, right? So if you have an undergraduate degree, you already have one part of the requirement already in the bag, right? So then you need your specific course prerequisites, right? So if you don't have any of those, you can just take those, or you can actually go into like the pre-med program or the gateway medical program, like I mentioned earlier, right? So if you have an undergraduate degree, but for some reason you feel like you still need more, you see more coverage of like the basic prerequisite courses, then feel free to apply to the gateway medical program. I don't think you need to restart anything again per se, right? So I think it's more efficient and more cost effective if you just apply to the pre-medical program instead of trying to restart again in like the States or something, right? So the good thing about MUA is that they have that option for students who might be in your shoes, right? Okay, they're not sure if they have requirements, they're not sure if they need to take more courses, right? So pretty much just check in with admissions at MUA, and they are very open to helping students out. So you can even just tell them, show them your what you have so far, and they're going to guide you along the process as well too. So definitely look into the Gateway Medical Program if you feel like you still need some more help in terms of your basic courses. All right, I have another question here asking if the program was competitive. I would say yes. There's a good level of competition, right? So I believe you're asking about the MUA, I guess, program itself. I'll say there are a lot of like smart students in the school, right? So definitely that alone is competitive in itself, but it's competitive in a good way, right? It gives you, it makes you push yourself, and it makes you really, strive to be the best and strive for success. All right, and I'll say that's pretty much about it in terms of I guess how competitive the program really was, you know. I think it was competitive at an optimal level, and that gives you, I guess the drive you need to really like, aim and shoot for the stars, and pretty much, go for what you want to go for. All right, let's see if there are any more questions here. What GPA is required? All right, so I won't say there's a specific GPA required for MUA. So if you just submit your application, they're going to look into that, and they're going to either grant you admission into Med1 directly, or they're going to put you in the pre-medical program, right? So there's no specific GPA required. There's no specific, MCAT score required, right? But obviously, just aim to be the best you possibly can. Make your application as competitive as possible, and pretty much apply, right? And there's always going to be an option if for any reason they feel you're not ready enough to go directly into Med1. There's always a pre-med option, or the Gateway Maker program option that I could easily put you in. So so don't let the GPA any GPA requirement stop you from applying. All right, let me see if there are any more questions here. All right, one more question. How many people are accepted each year? All right, that's a good question, because that goes. I think that's also. I'm not sure how many people are accepted each year, but I can tell you about what our class size looks like, right? So I think our class size varies from I think 30 students to about 60, 70 students per semester, right? And which is honestly really good, right? Because we have a small class size, and that gives room for more personal interaction and learning, right? The professors, they're going to know you by name and by face, and that's not something you might necessarily get elsewhere, right? And I think that interpersonal relationship between the students and the faculty, I feel that they really facilitate your progress and your learning. That really worked a lot for me, because the professors really knew me, and I knew them too, and I think that they kept an eye on me, and they keep an eye on not just me but all students as well too, because they know you, because the class size are small, and they pretty much, that gives them room to really know you personally. They're going to know your strengths, they're going to know your weaknesses, right? And they're going to tailor a specific approach to each student to pretty much make them successful. So the class size could vary from about 40 to 70, and that depends on when you're applying, right? So for the September semester, so at MUA we have 3 start dates. We have September start date, we have the January start date, and we have the May start date, right? So it goes without saying that the September start date is going to be the one that has the most people, right? So that's where you could probably see around the 70, class size. But if you're applying for maybe January or the May, you're going to see around maybe 50 or 60. So that's pretty much what the class size looks like. All right. So I have another question. When is the opening for applications to get into the program? All right. Awesome question. So basically, MUA pretty much accepts students on a rolling basis, right? So you can pretty much apply any time of the year, any day. They're always going to be welcome. They're always going to be open for applications, right? And like I just said, we have 3 start dates. We have January, we have May, and we have September, right? So pretty much it's a continuous admission basis. So if, for example, you wanted to apply for January, but for some reason the January intake has closed, you can definitely also apply for the May start time, right? So basically, there's always like this rolling basis admission setup. So you could literally apply anytime. And if you apply, they're going to let you know the earliest time you can start, be it January, May, or September, all right? So you could apply anytime. I don't think there's a particular time where applications close and you can't apply anymore. And that's one thing that's good. So you can start your medical journey at any 3 times a year. So you can apply literally anytime. All right, so Orgela 509. Yeah, so you said you're a student. So yeah, if you definitely want to come to MUA, I think you can. I'm not sure what kind of student you are right now, but this just goes back to the admissions requirements, right? If you have your undergraduate degree, then you just need your prerequisite courses, right? But if for any reason you don't have that, definitely just check in with the admissions department, right? You might be able to get into the pre-med program. You might not need a degree for that, but definitely just check into with the admissions department, and they're definitely going to let you know what to do. They're going to advise you better on what to do in terms of if to apply directly to the medical program or to start pre-med, and they're pretty much going to let you know what to do from there. All right, let's see if they have any more questions. Okay. All right, it seems like I've answered all the questions I see here. Those of you still online, if you have any more questions, feel free to drop them now. Any questions at all you might have, just drop them in the comment section, and I'll be very pleased to, answer them. All right, so you can ask me any questions about the island, about the school, the courses, the exams, literally anything that has always been on your mind that you feel you want to ask a student who has been through the process. Definitely put them in the comment section right now, and we're gonna address them for you. So yeah, pretty much if there's something I've always wanted to do, if you've always wanted to be a doctor, right, I think you should take whatever opportunity presents itself to you. I know sometimes people might want to look at, there's always going to be rumors about several things, right? There's always going to be negativity out there in the open space, but if you're committed to your journey and you're committed to your path of becoming a physician, I don't think those should really deter you, right? So if you've been granted the opportunity to achieve your dreams, I feel you should take the opportunity, learn to see opportunity in difficulty instead of difficulty in opportunity, right? So definitely, don't let any negativity affect your progress towards achieving your dreams of becoming a physician. All right, you have a few more questions. So someone is asking, how long does the pre-med take to complete? So the pre-med is just one semester, and that's 4 months, right? So if you start your pre-med in January, you're going to be done in April. If you start your pre-med in April, you're going to be done in August. If you start pre-med in September, you're going to be done in December. All right, so it just takes 4 months at most, give or take. It's just one semester, so yeah. All right, class size, I just talked about that. So just to reiterate, class size ranges from about 40, 50 students to about 70, 80 students, right? But more so about the 50 to 70 student mark. I also said that this depends on what time you decide to start. If you decide to start in like the January semester or the May semester, you're going to have your class size mainly maybe towards the 50 student range. But if you start in September, that's like the biggest intake. So that could be like in the 70, class range. So that's what the class size looks like. All right, so are there past practice questions to fall on to prepare for exams? I would not necessarily say they are past questions to prepare for exams, but what you can do is that you can use your upperclassmen as a resource, right? You could definitely ask them, if they remember anything from previous exams, or if they have any tips on what the professors really like, because some of the profs, they like certain things, right? I think the profs, they'll tell you, they're going to be like, pay attention to this, or pay more attention to that, so I won't say there's necessarily a like a repertoire that has past questions, but you could definitely take advantage of your upperclassmen and even also your teaching assistants as well too. I was a TA for histology and also TA in neuroscience and some of the system and disease courses, right? And whenever I go into my TA sessions, I actually ask the professors, I'm like, what do you want me to make sure the students really understand? And sometimes they give me some pointers into what to teach the students to make sure they are really knowledgeable on that particular part of information. So definitely, if you can speak to your upperclassmen, you can definitely ask them, and they're going to let you know whatever they remember, whatever questions they remember, or they're going to give you insight into what to focus on more. So that's as most as you can get. So you can also definitely also go into the office of your profs and ask them, okay, what do you think I should focus on the most for this exam? Sometimes they will say study everything, but sometimes they will also give you some things to really focus on, right? And pretty much that's pretty much how to try and determine. And that's a good question too, because we get a lot of information, right? So you want to try and find a way to sort of narrow down your focus a little bit more. And you could do that by, number one, asking your upperclassmen. Number two, just going to the prof's office and asking them what to focus on. And number three, if you actually pay attention in class, you start to see some things the professors repeat, right? You start to see that the professors, they like certain concepts, they like certain topics, right? So if you pay close attention, just look out for the things they keep repeating. When you see that they keep repeating that particular concept, then you know that that's something they're probably going to get tested on. So that's pretty much it's about that. All right, does anyone have any more questions about anything? Any more questions about MUA, getting into MUA, when already at MUA, how to, pretty much progress? Any questions about the semesters? Any questions about the island itself? Yes, you're very welcome. My pleasure. All right, I'm just going to hang out for maybe another 5-7 minutes, waiting for more questions. All right, one more question just came in. It says, what kind of support does MUA provide for USMLE preparations? So basically, we get shelf examinations, right? And what these are, they're pretty much retired NBME questions. And so after every semester, we get shelf exams, and these are exams directly from the NBME. So the NBME is the National Board of Medical Examinees, and they're the ones that set your step 1 exam, right? So at the end of every semester, we get NBME questions. So for example, in your Med 1, for example, when you study anatomy, histology, and physiology, we're going to get these NBME questions from the NBME, and we're just going to get tested on them to see how we compare to like the US. So that's a good way for us to for that the school prepares us and shows us what to expect for the USMLE. And also, one thing that most students don't necessarily know is that MUA also gives us an osmosis subscription. So pretty much osmosis is like a hub, like this online subscription for medical students, and it has it teaches you, it has like this animated videos where you can watch literally everything. We get access to the basic sciences and also the clinical portion of the education, what they offer. So that comes with our MUA subscription, right? So that's one way I think MUA facilitates our learning and prepares us towards step 1. We also have a Kaplan subscription as well too, and that gets activated in your 4th semester, I believe. All right, so in your 4th semester, you get your Kaplan subscription, and that pretty much comes with like a huge question bank and also videos as well too, and they cover literally everything. The videos, they teach you everything from beginning to end. So those are some of the ways I think MUA really prepares the students to approach step 1. And also our in-class exams as well too, which are set by the professors. They are mostly modeled after the step 1 as well too. They are like multiple choice questions. You have like a case presentation, and you pretty much have to extract the information from those cases to answer the questions. And that's how the USMLE Step 1 also tests their students as well too. So those are some of the support MUA provides in terms of preparation for the USMLE Step 1. And I'm also preparing for Step 1 now too, right? And also they actually make sure you have like a schedule in place. The clinical department contacts you and they make sure that you have like a schedule. You have to show them like a schedule, just to make sure, to help you keep on track, right? So those are some of the few ways MUA really helps in terms of Step 1 prep. On that question is, are there sports sub-clubs you can join? Oh yeah, absolutely. So when I was actually on the island, I was at the we had like an African association. We had Doctors of Christ for Christians. We also had the Muslim Student Association as well too. And so those were some of the active clubs on campus. The African Student Association, the Doctors of Christ, and also the Muslim Student Association. So those were available clubs to join on the island. In terms of sports, I won't say there's a defined sports club. It just depends on the students, right? So pretty much you just have to find students that are interested in a particular sport, and you just decide on a day to come together and play. So I played soccer a lot, and we had soccer every Tuesday, right? So this is not necessarily a club. It's just pretty much like-minded students that had similar interests in soccer, and we just came together and decided that Tuesday was the best time for us to play. So pretty much after school on Tuesdays, we go to the fields and you just play soccer there. There's also a basketball court beside the cafeteria, and students who are interested in playing basketball came together, and I think the basketball was on Fridays. Right, so soccer we play on Tuesdays and basketball they play every Fridays. And sometimes we have this competition where, we compete, each semester competes against each other. It's really usually fun, right? And we have like, we won't have like a trophy and everything, And I think that really facilitates the experience, right? It gives you, I think you get to know your classmates outside of camp, of the, classroom as well too. And even sometimes the profs, the profs actually play sometimes as well too. I remember one time we actually had, we had cricket one time as well too. And we had the student versus faculty, right? So sometimes the prof, they come out, they play cricket, they play soccer, they also play, some of them also play basketball, right? So yeah, those are options available for sports, and also in terms of the clubs you can join on campus as well too. All right, so are there any more questions from anyone before we end this session? Does anyone have any more questions? All right, it seems like everyone is satisfied and there are no more questions. All right then, so in the absence of any more questions, I would just like to thank you all for joining me on this session today. I hope it was informative, right? There's really so much we can cover within a span of 1 hour, right? So if anyone has any more questions, feel free to, you can message me directly. My Instagram account, I'm just going to put it in the comment section, is Mohs Medical. All right. So it's Mohs Medical, MOHSMEDICAL. So I just put my Instagram account there. I could definitely follow me and ask me more questions if you want, and I'm definitely gonna, reply to you and everything. So someone just asked what's the island called. So the island is called Nevis, Nevis, Nevis. That's a particular island that the school is situated on, but that's a sister island to, St. Kitts as well too. So in the grand scheme of things, the island is called St. Kitts and Nevis, and these are two islands pretty much just under the same jurisdiction, right? But MUA specifically is on the island of Nevis. Okay. All right, always a pleasure. Thank you for joining, Adiola. You're very, very welcome. and you already know what it is. We already talk back and forth. So feel free to always, keep the conversation going and message me if you have any more questions. I'm always here to, provide any help anyone might need. All right, so I just put my Instagram details right there in the comment section. It's Mo's Medical. Feel free to follow me and ask me any other questions you guys want. And again, thank you for joining me here today. It was a pleasure chatting with you guys and providing you guys some information on what my experience at MUA is like. I'm also going to save this live on the MUA's page, so you can feel free to share it with anyone who might not have been here today. I know someone said that they invited some people from West Africa who might not have been able to make the session, but definitely just send them this saved version of the this live on the page, and they can definitely reach out to me on my personal Instagram page at Mo's Medical if you have any more questions. So you guys are very welcome. Yes, I see everyone saying thank you. You're very welcome. It was my pleasure, really, being here to give you guys this information. So definitely take them. Honestly, just follow your dreams, guys. Follow your dreams. Don't let anyone tell you cannot do it. Don't let anything you see online discourage you. If you want to become a doctor, then become a doctor, right? MUA is going to give you the tools you need. People have been doing this. People do this every year, right? So don't listen to what the naysayers are going to say. Don't listen to, the negative energy out there. Just come in here, be dedicated. Tell yourself, I'm here to, push. I'm here to excel. And definitely that's exactly what you're going to do. All right. So thank you very much for joining me here today. It's been a pleasure. And thank you again, MUA, for giving me this opportunity to share my experiences with everyone else. And it was a pleasure, really. Thank you. And I'll see you guys whenever I see you next, okay? All right, guys. Cheers and enjoy the rest of your day or your evening, depending on wherever you're tuning from. All right, everyone. Take care, and I'll see you guys later. Bye now.